They said he was too small, too shy, and too fragile to survive in professional football. He was not flashy, he barely spoke, and he certainly did not look like a future superstar. But when Lionel Messi stepped onto the pitch, everything changed. From someone rejected by doctors to a player who came to dominate teams worth billions, his journey was not just unlikely, it was almost impossible. So how did this quiet boy from Rosario become the greatest of all time? To understand that, we have to go back to the very beginning. He will not be able to grow like other children, and he will never be able to play sports professionally, the doctor said about Messi when he was just a child, full of dreams and burning with passion for the game. His grandmother took him to every training session, was present at every match, and always applauded louder than anyone else. She passed away when he was 10 years old. Every time he scores, he lifts his eyes and his hands to the sky. It is a tribute to the memory of his most devoted supporter. At the age of 7, he joined Newell's Old Boys. As a child, he scored more than 100 goals per season and became known as La Pulga, the Flea, for his small stature and incredible ball control. It was said that some teams refused to take the field if they knew Messi would be playing for Newell's. At the age of 10, he was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency. The treatment cost $1,500 per month. For his family, it was impossible to afford. His dream seemed to collapse. His father sent video recordings of his matches to European clubs. Barcelona scout Carlos Rexach watched the boy juggle the ball with his feet, knees, and head and said, "Sign him immediately." Lionel Messi's contract with Barcelona's academy was signed on a napkin. At La Masia, he barely spoke and made almost no friends. They called him El Mudo, the mute. Coaches said he only communicated on the pitch, and only with the ball. It felt like he was speaking, and the ball was the only thing listening. He would dribble past 4 or 5 defenders, score, and calmly walk back, as if nothing special had happened. Barcelona understood what kind of diamond they had in their hands and paid for his treatment. Messi received injections every evening and continued training every single day. At 16, playing for the youth team, Leo humiliated Barcelona's first team. That was the moment everyone realized he was different. He played his first official match at 17 against Albacete and scored his first official goal after a pass from Ronaldinho. The first goal was ruled out for offside. Leo did the same thing again and scored once more. The celebration, nothing flashy, almost no smile, a quiet warrior. Despite the early explosion of talent, many still didn't believe in him and criticized him. Too small, too fragile, too quiet to be a leader. They saw him as just a substitute. Everyone was watching other stars like Ronaldinho. They thought Messi was just a warm-up act, while Barcelona was preparing a cheat code, a teenager who would make legends question their own abilities. And the signs were already there. He embarrassed Juventus, slipped past defenders so easily that even their coach, Fabio Capello, wanted to sign him. "Who is this boy?" he asked. But Barcelona refused. They knew the value of their winning ticket and had no intention of selling it for any price. Then the hungry teenager met a furious Chelsea in the Champions League. His simple yet unpredictable moves drove the defense insane. Del Orno received a red card after constant fouls, and Messi left the field with a hip injury. But his mark was already made, and he lifted the entire stadium to its feet. Then he played against Getafe and scored a goal that shook the football universe. He took the ball on his own half, slipped past 3 or 4 defenders, made a feint, laid the goalkeeper on the ground, and scored. The goal was identical to the one Maradona scored in 1986. Barcelona won 5-2, but no one remembered the actual score. Everyone remembered only that unreal goal. In 2006, they played against Zaragoza. It was an important match. Ronaldinho stayed on the bench, and Messi took the game into his own hands. He did not score and did not make an assist, but he controlled the game. He was the conductor. The entire team revolved around him. We saw the beginning of a new era. No matter how simple his style seemed, teams could not find a way to stop him. It was as if he played and saw everything in slow motion. Opponents began marking him personally. Coaches invented new schemes to limit him, but he was unstoppable. He was a hurricane, a tornado, slowly sweeping everything in his path. But at that time, very few realized it. They watched but did not understand that they were living in the brightest era of football. They were witnessing history being written right before their eyes. His true birth as a superstar was not going to happen on an empty stadium or during training, but in the toughest and most brutal derby in football, El Clásico against the Galacticos, teams worth billions of dollars. Messi, only 19 years old, went to war against one of the strongest clubs in the world. Real Madrid was not just a team, it was a team with a capital T, an empire worth more than $1 billion. There were stars: David Beckham, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Guti, Raúl, Iker Casillas, and Sergio Ramos. Such a lineup was every opponent's worst nightmare. Rijkaard made the decisive move. Messi was in the starting 11. He was about to play the biggest match of his life against the champions in front of 90,000 spectators. He faced experienced professionals who were feared and idolized. Playing against them was like throwing a deer into a lion's den. From the first whistle, Messi became a real threat to Madrid. He started on the left, but was everywhere. Right, left, center. He constantly troubled the defense. Madrid scored in the 5th minute, but by the 11th, Messi responded. Ronaldinho saw his run and delivered the pass. Messi received the ball, controlled it with his magical left foot, and with a powerful strike from the edge of the box leveled the score. He did it as if before him were not the world's best defenders, but children in the street. The stands exploded. Madrid realized that in front of them was no ordinary teenager, but a predator hungry for goals. Real scored again, but Messi leveled once more, this time shooting straight through Ramos and past Casillas. The second half became even more intense. Guti delivered a cross from a set piece, and Ramos scored with a header. Everything was decided. Real Madrid had won. The Barcelona wonder boy could do nothing. But in the 90th minute, Ronaldinho passed the ball to Messi. He entered the penalty area, beat 2 defenders, Ramos and Cannavaro, and shot past one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Goal. Barcelona were saved. It was a miracle by a 19-year-old boy. Every time Real Madrid thought victory was in their hands, Messi single-handedly brought Barcelona back into the game. A hat trick. It was Leo's first hat trick, and he scored it against the best defenders, midfielders, and attackers in the world. The next day, no one talked about Ramos' goal. Everyone discussed only one name: Lionel Andrés Messi. The senior players began to look at him with respect. And it was not only Barca that rejoiced, the whole world rejoiced, because a special player had appeared, one who was creating history. Years later, Iker Casillas would remember that night. We understood that this guy was not just talented, he was a monster behind a mask. Barcelona, which had been slowly fading, was reborn by Messi. He became its present and its bright future. After that match, Barca changed its strategy. Messi began to play more centrally in the role of a playmaker. Barcelona was gradually turning into Messi's team. In the future, it would be him who would lift it to the very top. Something big was coming. He was a leader, but not the kind who wears the captain's armband or shouts speeches in the locker room. He knew how to speak, but most often he spoke through his game. He created chances, delivered passes, and most importantly, he led the team with humility. So how did this child become an 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, a World Cup champion, and the most complete player in the history of football? It was not only about a divine gift, but about the fact that this talent was backed by hard work, dedication, and consistency. Ronaldinho moved to Milan. Messi became Barcelona's new number 10. From that moment on, the number 10 was associated with Messi himself. Every child, no matter where they lived, dreamed of a jersey with the number 10 and the name Messi on the back, just as his name was engraved in the hearts of millions of fans around the world. Messi played in 5 World Cups. He reached the quarterfinals once and the final once, but he lost, and still he did not give up. Then he gathered a team, or you could say a pride of lions, that he led, and he won the most prestigious trophy in football, the World Cup. In the years that followed his first El Clásico, Messi became the top scorer in the history of this rivalry. Time and again, he carried the team, decided the fate of countless matches, but never once did he betray the badge on his chest or the fans in his heart. To understand Messi's true level, it is important to note that he received ovations even in rival stadiums. On March 10th, 2007, at Camp Nou, Messi made history and must have thought, "Now it is my turn. Football belongs to me." No matter what the haters say, that FIFA favors Messi or that his matches are fixed, the truth is simple. A child with a growth hormone deficiency entered the world of football, and through absolute devotion, immense hard work, and talent, won 8 Ballon d'Or awards, 35 titles with Barcelona, earned the most Man of the Match awards in World Cup history, scored the most goals for a single club, the most goals in a calendar year, provided more than 350 assists, and scored over 800 goals in his career. This is a legacy that will never be forgotten. He blessed the game. I always dreamed of becoming a professional footballer. I never thought about being the best or breaking records. I just wanted to play. He not only became a professional footballer, he became the greatest. And it all began with a dream. Lionel Andrés Messi. There will never be another like him.